Welcome back to another round of Spudventures. This time we're back with the Forgotten Ones, session 6, which means I'm going to hand it over to GreatDinn.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Forgotten Ones, a Dungeon of the Mad Mage module with a slight twist to it. That twist being amnesia, and possibly more. Joining us, as always, is Newbiespud as Usk of House Rosnar.
Hello.
We've got Space Jawa as Jhank.
Hello.
Azure Mountain as Lander Brightwood.
Hey.
Digo as Victor.
Hello.
And my brain shut out for a moment. Avis as Yuliy. Sorry, Nate. I was like Yuliy as Yuliy. Wait, no.
Yuliy as herself.
That M not work.
It's okay. We're all getting amnesia right now. It's with the theme. It's fine.
Sure. Spoilers. I'm a little bit sick today, and I'm pretty sure I'm running a fever, so I'm a little bit out of it.
I'm hopped up on antihistamines.
Woo! Everybody's having a good time. So, where we last left off, the players had managed to get through the first floor of the Undermountain through a non-zero amount of sneakery instead of combattery, for understandable reasons. There were a lot of goblins. And they encountered the first sort of gate that separates the various floors of the Undermountain, which very nearly killed Yuliy. Very nearly. And then following that, they entered the second floor, and their mysterious benefactor / revivifier appeared for a brief moment and told them that they would have answers soon.
Hooray.
Hooray. And Yuliy, I believe there was something you wanted to tell the group about?
I did, but here's my first question. They left, right?
Who?
They left?
Our mysterious benefactor?
They disappeared into the wall.
Okay.
So, yes.
Guys?
Mm-hmm.
I might have remembered something.
Interesting.
Oh.
It was all very strange, and some of it doesn't really make all that much sense, but it's something, and I mean, I personally find it important, and I'm grateful to have it back, but parts of it are a little bizarre. I mean, where's my fucking note thing?
Personally, I'm prepared for bizarre at this point.
First question. Are there memories of us?
Yes, actually. But that's kind of where it gets strange. You were there, Victor, but you spoke with Lander's voice.
Oh.
So we're just talking about a dream then, or?
Well, Lander, Victor, I really don't understand who was there.
Lander
was talking to this being also about your book that I see sometimes, Lander. And then everything got dark and you kind of got corrupted by it and then disappeared into dust in my arms, as did the other person there.
Me or Victor?
Well, it was Victor's body, but your voice. So it's confusing.
All right.
Wait. Did some of us get put back together backwards?
Or there's the possibility that Victor and I were the same person, but then separated into two people.
Separated at birth.
Well,
Or second birth.
Well,
the thing is, both of you spoke as if the other was still there. It was very strange, and I don't know if some of that's just my memory being washed around and starting to confuse myself a bit.
So was it just the voice, or was it the tone of speaking and vocabulary as well?
Uh,
I don't think she has a recording we can play back.
Yeah.
it sounded like you,
Okay.
but it physically looked like Victor. And whoever it was kind of died in my arms for a second there.
But only for a second.
Probably more than a second.
Because of
and then
the book you said?
Yeah, because it started spewing darkness all around us until it just engulfed everything, and there was only darkness, and I was the only light in that darkness to banish it away.
Well, it is a book of shadows.
And
So
I remembered
it's
making
already
a
killed
promise
us.
to be that.
Already killed us once, is what you're saying.
That sounds like a book I should get rid of.
Maybe
It's
not.
pretty useful.
Not having it in other people's hands is at least something I can get behind. But
But
yeah,
I
you're
mean-
right. That was bizarre.
And it does look
if we
different than
do
the book
something
I have, right?
if we do something like find a fire to throw in, then it can be in nobody's hands.
I mean, it'll just return to me. That's
You're
how it
saying
works.
Your
Hmm.
book cannot be destroyed.
I think so. Pretty sure if it gets destroyed, it just
From the
Comes
stuff
back to
Avis
me.
knows about that book, you can get it back. It can't ever be fully destroyed.
unless
Yeah.
I die. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, if you die, then the your pact is negated, and thus the book go away.
Noted.
Fortunately,
that's
we are
probably-
a body together, or else I would bring up the suggestion of getting rid of you.
Yeah.
I don't think that would really solve anything.
So
Yeah.
I take it that neither myself nor Jhank were there.
Not that I could see or hear. If anything, it seems like, from what I could gather from the dream, Yuliy.
Yuliy talks in third person sometimes. It happens.
It's fine.
Victor, Lander, and I at least knew each other before coming to Waterdeep.
And it was
Huh.
all three of us.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, neither of you are allowed to take my flask. Please don't ever touch it again.
Did we take it before?
Yes, you did.
Well, I apologize.
My bad.
Apology accepted.
Well then.
All right. Like I said, I have plans, and I look forward to more things like this happening with all of you.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I'm so excited.
Okay, so let me tell you guys. As I described last time, this section of the sort of Undermountain is it's very similar to the previous floor. It's still barely lit. Basically, the only light being what you guys are carrying. But the walls are of a slightly darker hue, of some sort of darker stone, and those who are familiar with magic can feel it sort of pulsing in the walls.
Yeah.
Even more so than like the general feeling of the Undermountain. This it feels like there is a lot of spell casting happening on this floor, or at least there had been in the past.
I am not going to be very useful on this floor.
I just had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
If you combine the first three letters of Victor's name and the last three letters of my name, or vice versa, phonetically they still sound the same.
Vicdare?
Victor and Lanter. Similar, anyway.
Please stop making this more confusing than it already makes.
Yeah. Just a
I've
little
been sitting
tidbit.
on this for so long, it makes me cry every time I look at it. I have so many questions.
I'm sorry I can't answer any of them right now, but
know.
I promise there are answers. I'm not pulling a Lost here. I started with the end, so I'm not entirely winging this.
I see.
So along with that, I believe was it Victor that has the highest passive perception?
Probably.
think so. We can check in the thingy.
I have a
Yes.
21.
Yeah, a 21. I'm gonna say you are the first to hear it. I'm not like this is one of those things that's there's not a heck of a lot of activity happening. You just happen to be a bit more perceptive than everyone else. To the sort of right hand side, basically where your map cuts off, you can hear a lot of like banging noises. It sounds like hammers hitting wood or like wreckage sort of being pilfered through. And Victor, you hear it's your best approximation is singing. It's not very good, whatever it is, but it seems pretty jovial.
I will point in the direction that I'm hearing this from, and I'll tell the group what I'm hearing. There's a musical number in that direction.
If I strain to hear it, is it in Goblin?
Yes.
Oh, goblins are singing a construction song.
They are. It's not one you recognize for a variety of obvious reasons.
I mean, why? I don't spend a lot of time in goblin caves. I'm in the city. I'm a city boy.
You are.
I wonder if these goblins are more magical than the others.
They're more musical.
Which, I mean, honestly, those two things are highly correlated.
They sure are.
Yeah.
Well, so has this been brought up?
Yes, it's been brought up.
I've told you what I'm hearing.
They are singing a construction song. How about we go add a verse of destruction to it?
I mean, I think we should
Let's go look.
make sure they're not evil first. If they are evil, then sure. Or, doing bad things, but... Yeah. Anyway, we got two courses of action. Bust through the wall or go down the hallway a bit to the opening.
I don't think we're busting through these walls.
Yeah, I would go down the hallway.
Looks like Jhank's already ahead of us.
He's at the bottom of the stairs.
I don't have a map.
What I'm hearing is Jhank rushes in.
Yeah.
He's
What,
he
again?
Only went,
Really?
He only went to the bottom
Open
of
the
the
level
stairs.
2 player's
That's
map.
all the further he went.
Where did my map go? Oh no.
I can. Unless everybody has it, I can share it
Yeah,
again.
we have it.
If
It's
you go
it's
to-
just under.
Here, I'm gonna make a.
Yeah, if you go to images and maps and then
there
go
it
to the
is.
new section, then it'll be there, and there will be less of the other maps.
Okay.
I just didn't remember where it was.
I also put it in my 3 slot as well on the bottom.
Yes. There are things to make use of.
Jhank runs ahead. We're going to get into a crazy musical number, and it's going to be West Side Dungeon.
We
I
can
mean,
only.
we're
hope.
going towards the east side, though.
I mean, we can go west too eventually.
Well, Jhank's gonna peek around the corner first, see if there's anything specifically, or the owl will go do that.
So,
Yes. The
yes.
owl.
The owl, when it enters that room, the noises are getting louder, and it's a bit more clear, sort of like it is construction, whatever it is. Doesn't sound too dangerous from goblin perspective, I guess. But that particular room is pretty empty. There's a lot of garbage on the floor, but there's no like living beings, and there's no sort of like anything of worth. The walls have a whole like series of bas reliefs depicting a whole bunch of dwarves carrying supplies, all of which have been sort of like chipped at or like smudged as best as possible, and there are just these enormous cartoonish goblin heads doing the same thing.
I'm going to go have the owl check out the hallway that's the other way from us.
So not only are you dealing with goblins, you're dealing with artists.
Those dang artists.
There doesn't appear to be anything sort of in this hallway. The hallway opens up into a room. Let me get to the masking layer. So that seems to have some sort of water pump. But aside from that, there's really nothing in this sort of area.
Good. That's exactly what I was hoping. Because now we won't get ambushed from behind. Probably.
That you know of.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make a perception roll of that room.
I will say that the real fast, your perception check of that room, there really isn't anything else in there. It's pretty blank. It's just a lot of garbage. I will say the Revenant that is currently traveling with you doesn't look super interested in going down this hallway.
Yeah, I can see why.
That's fair.
And it says, "Let's stop wasting time."
He makes a fair point.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
This is probably not the way to the floor exit.
No,
I have to gander. It's probably south.
Well, I mean, it was like west on the first floor, but
Well, it could be anywhere.
No, it was east, southeast, and then west.
That's
Like south. Wait.
Sorry, I know this is super confusing because the map like switched directions.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of the point of it. Like
I can believe that the stairs started going west and then became south.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me see something. The Revenant appears to be standing sort of stock still, as though it's trying to sort of locate its ex-friends.
It's future murder victims.
It's future
It's murderers.
I think it's
Yes.
fair to if the Revenant has a better idea, we can let him lead the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That said, I will tell you now that the Revenant is not going to care about what's in between it and victims.
Yep. I figured as much.
Yes.
At least it'll be a good distraction.
Yes. I need a moment because I just have a big map with lots of pins in it. I don't have the exact room that they're in, so I need to find that myself. Give me just a moment.
You got it.
I thought I had it down, and then everything is just like vanishing on me. It should be. There we go. Where is? Nope. That's not helpful. Apologies about this. Things are moving around. Might have to Google this real fast.
What do you think they're building over there?
Tower.
You could ask him. Probably
Fortification.
won't end well.
Yeah.
Not a lot of wood down here, so
They're goblin artists. I wonder if I could like run a con on them if I pretended to be like some kind of bugbear patron.
Yeah.
Well,
So I just
why don't
noticed
you go,
that,
why don't you go and find out?
Well, I mean, Revenant seems like he is keen on going a direct route, and I don't see a reason to stop him.
Yeah.
All right.
So I just noticed
There we
that
go.
us and Victor are the only ones that don't have any negative modifiers.
It's probably.
Yeah. On the party sheet, you can check all their abilities.
Yeah. Good God. There are. I just want to say this. It's one of the reasons I actually do really like this adventure. There is like 40 some odd pins in this map of just like, here's what's in this room. Here's what's here. The problem is trying to find very specifically the one I want because it's not
Yeah.
otherwise very well.
so your pins need pins.
Yes, my pins need pins. They need more than just the names that they've got. No, that's not it. Oh goodness me. Okay. I found someone. Okay.
Dungeon is just that big. Even the DM needs to
Yes.
a moment to navigate it.
Yes. Honestly, I'd heard warnings of this, and I didn't heed them. So heed them, my listeners. Heed the warning. Dungeon of the Mad Mage needs a lot of room. It leaves a
Feed
lot
them
of.
and despair.
You actually hear the Revenant make sort of a like awful noise. It sounds something like a grotesque sigh. And it goes, "The closest one is that way." And he points towards the goblins.
Oh,
Well, time to run your con, Usk.
And you said we were wasting time going that way.
I mean, we are still, but
So yes, are you guys gonna go through the sort of back way, this back path that leads into another room, or this front path?
What's down this
Sorry.
hallway? What's down the hallway? That hallway.
owl scouting.
Yes, owl scouting. And let me get the map section open because I'm just gonna open all this up.
uh-oh.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Raro.
Great googly moogly.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Jinkies.
That's a big room.
That's a hall.
That's a throne room. That's a throne
That's
hall.
the room.
It's a very big goblin bazaar.
It's very
It's-
bizarre.
Oh.
There's a whole bunch of pillars, and around each pillar, the goblins have set up just these awful little booths that are, held together by scrap and spit. And you can tell that the singing goblins are building a big stage at the far end of the hallway.
Okay, so
This
this
looks
sounds
like
like
fun. This looks like fun.
this sounds like a genuine time where we should have Oos go in and see if they are in any way friendly or if they'll turn all nasty if, some outsiders pop in.
And
Owl perception check.
owl perception check. I was about to ask. So I'll say that the owl can, if it goes into the, which it can, I'll say it can do without being noticed because, this is a pretty big thing to reveal and there's a lot going on. There is a throne just past where the stage is being built. And on it sits a human who is looking upon this with just an absolutely giddy smile.
I have a feeling that's the guy we need to kill.
Well, that's going to be a shame.
Well,
But
let's
this
go.
looks like fun.
Let's go farther down the hallway to start off with.
To the north?
Yeah.
What's down that way?
So you're heading north this time?
Yeah, getting closer to the throne
Okay.
before heading into the hallway. Hall.
Like I said, sorry, I'm trying to pieces moving maps.
Sorry, yeah.
No worries. Like I said, this sort of big area. There's just a bunch of goblins trying to hawk wares to other goblins. There's a lot of. It looks like actually kind of decent. Excuse me. Actually, kind of decent stuff. Like it's not goblins selling junk to other goblins. It's like goblins selling scrapped treasure, presumably like stuff they've looted from dead bodies or whatever, or perhaps bought from adventurers who were like, I don't need this. And that you can see there's actually, as you sort of get a wider view of this, there are guards. Like there's a bunch of goblins that are in armor. They look more composed than the other ones, and you can see one of the goblins even like nudging another one and telling him to flip his spear over. The owl can hear pointy end go up. And they're sort of like keeping an eye on the crowd, making sure that there's no sort of like roughhousing. You can hear the humanoid figure sort of like yelling at the people building the stage. It's in Goblin, so I don't think
I can.
you can understand it, but I don't know that.
What are they saying? What are they saying?
I'd have to get closer.
Yes.
Get closer.
And as far as the like northern section, like the hallway you are in specifically, the northern part of it, you can see further down it. There's actually a smaller stage being built, and you can hear a goblin. Sort of like you see a goblin sort of standing at a podium with a hammer in hand, and he's like banging it every now and again, sort of judge-like. But you're hearing. I was
about to ask.
But it's not quite that, because you've never heard a judge talk that fast.
It's an auction.
Yeah, it appears that the goblins in that room are building an auction room.
And practicing.
And one goblin is practicing being an auctioneer. And it's the strangest thing, because like Goblin already has some sort of like gibberish word filler, and this is like 98% that with some cost thrown in and maybe a noun.
Okay, so
this is almost too adorable to destroy.
This is adorable. We need to see if they'll let us have fun with them. This is so cute.
I have an idea if this is indeed a guy we are supposed to kill.
Doesn't mean we can't have a little fun.
Right, no, but I have an idea that may allow us to have fun with this, not make a mess of it, but still take care of this guy.
I'm really
Well, why don't we ask
afraid.
our friend here if it is one of the guys instead of making assumptions?
Everyone go ahead and roll stealth for me, if you could.
I like this.
What's stealth?
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
My 4 asks what stealth is.
Let's see. Okay.
Hey. Not last place.
Bye.
All right. So a few of you have gone undetected, but Yuliy, you're standing kind of close to the entrance of this auction hall.
I'm too excited to hide.
And Lander, you kind of got a little too close when you got to that the auction hall area.
Yeah.
And there are some goblins.
That's where I was.
Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 goblins who are like that you see goblin turn to another goblin, point, whisper to each other, and then you hear in like the worst accented common, and this is happening to both of you, of hello customer!
Hello.
Hi.
Please come to market, please, we have great deals, come!
We'll do. See, they're fine.
What you selling?
Sorry, as this is going on, I go over to the Revenant, and I say, okay, based on what we've learned, please, like, restrain yourself until we can figure out how to do this cleanly.
The Revenant looks at you and goes, "They are not my target."
Okay. But they may be, based on what Lander said about his owl and that throne situation, they may be enthralled to him, and let's try not to like pick a fight with all of them at once.
Until we do my best.
In fact, maybe like
would be appreciated.
yeah.
And as you are sort of dragged into this main area, Lander, you're dragged like straight through the auction hall, like, 'cause there's nothing in there aside from a stage being built and the goblin practicing. You're brought into the like main area, like where that other stage
Like
is.
up here?
I'll put a pointer down. You're brought in kind of over here. Although not 10 feet. And I'll say this, as you were dragged through, you could see that little extra hallway, the one sort of south of that auction hall.
Yeah.
And you could see There was some kind of cell there, some like iron gibbets hanging from chains. There might have been someone in there, but you didn't quite get that good a look. But yeah. Yes, the owl could go take a look-see if need be. We will. I'll tell you what the owl does sees in just a minute.
Yep.
Yuliy,
Yes.
there are like 8 vendor stalls. There are 22 goblins roughly that you see just sort of like walking around, like buying things and like chucking things and selling things. There's 2 goblins per stall. It seems like it's one goblin to count the money, 1 goblin to take the money, kind of situation. And there are 6 guards who are standing near like the exits of the room, at least especially on the sort of left-hand side or right-hand side. Sorry, I'm getting directions mixed up.
So across from the throne.
Yeah, there's 2 across from the throne. 2. Hold on, let me get a pointer out. 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. Oh, it didn't. That's weird. It didn't do pointers. It didn't do multiple pointers. 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. There we go. Roughly.
More or less,
And-
give or take.
Yeah, someone made a pointer without my permission. Anyways,
Looks like it was Yuliy.
you can see, Yuliy, that these various stalls, they're selling all sorts of items. There's armor, there's shields, there's weapons, there's adventuring gear, there's tools, there's trade goods, there's food, there's drink.
I heard food and drink. Let's go.
Yes, there is. I'll say you can absolutely attend the food stall. There's a lot of dried meat. There's a lot of wine.
You're speaking my language, man.
The goblins, one of the goblin who takes the money goes, yes, welcome to Meat and Wine Shack, where we sell 2 things, meat and wine. And also
two
food
wonderful
and
things.
drink. We sell 4 things, but mostly 2 things.
2 great things.
Yes. And the let me see. I can make a little. Give me just a moment to make a roll. Okay. Cool. I now have some info on how much money they have.
You know what a good time for this would be? For you to give us the money that belongs to us.
Wow, just going full on murder hobo, huh?
Jhank.
Y'all follow me?
We are at the place to spend money, and you have money that has yet been split.
Jhank.
Talking about the platinum. But I'm not there. I'm farther up.
I didn't think any of you guys followed me in. I was just pulled in, and I'm having fun.
Yeah, I'm still kind of watching.
Yeah,
Watch me
Jhank
make a
is
fool of
off-
myself. It's fine.
Jhank is off to the side.
Yuliy, go ahead and make a roll. I don't know what roll would be the most appropriate, but whatever roll you think would be most appropriate as far as like figuring out how much they're charging, like whether that seems fair or not.
That sounds like insight. I don't care.
Oh,
Those prices sound great.
They sound fine.
the prices are reasonable.
It's funny because
they're a
that's not
bargain.
the skills I'm good at.
Let me just get a little looky-loo here. So they're selling a there's a wine skin that seems to be full of wine going for about 15 gold. There's a flask going
I already
for,
know it's like overcharged up the wazoo. I just don't care.
there's
my money.
there's a flask going for 50. And if you're there's a cask going for 15. So you can just really go wild if you'd like. And the meat is all being sold for very similar prices.
Meat and wine.
All right.
Isn't that more like in the silver and copper range?
It's supposed to be. I personally, me as Avis knows 100% that these are going to be overcharged regardless, but I can't justify that to Yuliy after rolling a natural 1. I don't care.
I think your oath says enjoy the wine.
It does. It really does.
On the bright side, she
So
has.
I will enjoy the wine and the
How much-
food.
How much platinum did we each get from that?
I have not split it up yet.
I have gold. It's fine.
Yes, the platinum that does need to be split.
And if you the goblin also seeing how very excited you are about this, goes, I see you, connoisseur. We have special deal, don't we? Yes, we do. We do have special deal. And they pull out a bottle of wine that has like an eye patch on a label, and it's called One-Eyed Jack.
Oh, that's adorable.
And the goblins go, we make you very special. This good wine, oldest wine. We sell it for 100 gold.
Just buy yourself a fort for a bottle of wine. Just no big deal.
So what would you like to buy, Yuliy?
What are you buying?
What are you buying? What are you
Goblin
selling?
have wares if you have the coin.
I guess while you're making that decision, we will cut over to Lander, who is
Yes, please do.
more or less being dragged in front of the throne, where the human smiles widely, stands up and goes, yes, you may behold me, for I am Yek, the Tall.
Well, that's not what I expected.
Yeah.
He's very, he is a very tall man. Not taller than you, but he's reasonably tall. And he's definitely taller than these goblins. And now that you're close to him, you can see he's dressed like the goblins. And he has this very, very gaudy circlet around his head.
So he's a goblin with a circlet of disguise.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't just say yes.
There's so much beauty in the world,
And he strides down from the throne across the half-built stage. The goblins sort of part ways for him. The singing has stopped. And he looks to you, Lander, and he goes, so what brings you to the kingdom of Yek, the Tall?
Exploring.
An explorer. I am most familiar with those. Yes, Yek, the Tall, is most familiar with explorers indeed.
The pause is part of the name.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And I guess now is as good a time as any to go to the owl. The owl sees 4 iron gibbets hanging from chains. There's a 10-foot high ceiling, and it's holding there's 4 cages basically being hung from the ceiling. And in one of them is a goblin who is she looks pretty miserable. But as soon as she sees the owl, she slams against the side of the cage and is reaching for it. She looks really hungry.
The owl is not food.
No, the owl is not food.
She could try and eat the owl and it won't do anything.
Probably not.
I mean, it'd make the owl disappear,
It will make the owl disappear.
which means I'll have to spend an hour getting it back.
But it won't make her hunger disappear.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything else aside from the goblin?
Not really. It looks like this is a sort of a general prison area, but it honestly looks kind of unused, aside from the one goblin.
I'm intensely curious about this now, but I don't know about it.
I'm super curious about it, but I can't do anything about it either. Also, I'm kicking myself in the foot about that natural one because I have ideas, but I can't use them. Tieflings are good at using suggestions and persuasion. I can't justify it.
What?
I mean,
You're telling me you wouldn't try and haggle down from a quote-unquote reasonable price?
I know I would.
I personally think they're reasonable. Very reasonable.
Oh, right, you're a paladin and you have ethics.
Oh,
The thing is, I can't justify using suggestion for them to give it to me for free.
But like a discount, maybe.
Meanwhile, Jhank
I
is
have an idea
standing-
now.
Meanwhile,
Like, hey,
Jhank
I'm a customer. Give me a discount. Customers get discounts all the time.
Yeah,
Alright.
issue is if I tried to do anything that was magic-wise, people would know if I messed up.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's a reasonable concern.
Worth noting, they definitely seem like these goblins definitely seem to adventure. So like you don't have to worry about like even the guards don't seem terribly alarmed by your presence. So
Meanwhile,
for what it's
Jhank
worth,
is standing next to Usk, kind of nudging him on splitting the money that he's still carrying that belongs to all of them.
Jhank, not right now, and not for the Goblin Bazaar, okay? Just wait until we find a real market.
Are you saying this is not a real market?
Yes!
I mean,
If
it
I
has goblins that are selling things.
I understand that you
don't
spend a
care
lot of
what
time out in the
quality-
woods, but have you been to a real market recently?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a good quality market to be a real market.
we've all experienced the black market, right?
I mean, yes, there's commerce happening here, but like, is this a worthwhile market? No. I can't believe we're having a freaking argument about this.
I mean, it's not your money anyway. It's,
It's our money.
Technically,
It's all on
He's the one that
two
earned it.
long strings. I don't want to have to go through the freaking effort of breaking them all, and they're heavy. Do you want to
Fair.
restring these things? Do you? Because
mean,
I don't
we're
right
going
now.
to break them apart and string them together later anyway.
Yeah.
Victor, yeah, that 7, you get noticed. The auctioneers look a little. The auctioneer goblin looks a little confused. Like, didn't I just see one of you come by already? And then shrugs, gestures to the goblins, and they also take you out to where Lander is being sort of accosted by Yek the Tall. And upon seeing you, Victor, Yek goes, it feels as though Yek the Tall knows more. There are more than 2 of you, are there not?
can we see Yuliy down in the bazaar?
I'm literally dancing around.
Probably.
Well, yeah, there's that one down over there.
So 3.
So there are at least 3 of us.
At least 3.
Certainly no less.
He sort of like claps his hands and points to the goblins building the stage, and he goes, "You there, smaller goblins! Go and fetch the others. They are probably down that hall." And yeah, there's a squad of about 8 goblins who are going to. I should probably populate this map a little bit. It's just very difficult. I'm just gonna put a single one down to represent like a group of goblins.
That's fine.
But
I'm
there's
ready
about
to throw
8.
money.
There are about 8 who are just like they're coming down this way towards this hallway just to see, are there more people?
While that's happening, if I hear them approaching, I would like to make a move kind of out that east side, kind of along the back of the bazaar, and back that way.
All right. Yeah, you're gonna roll. I think roll a sneak, a stealth of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Jhank is just gonna be Jhank is just gonna be following close behind.
Just ignore me.
Hell yeah!
Nice. Yeah, you are completely unnoticed as you slip into that room.
Jhank is following close behind him, though.
All right, you'll also need to roll stealth. Yuliy, it's not your best performance. I think
fine.
you're just a little too excited about mine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. I'm just gonna roll terrible the rest of the day.
Oof. Yeah, Jhank, you're grabbed by the goblins before, like the goblins running the bazaar before you can really get in there.
Can Jhank try and grab Usk?
Nope.
Why would you?
Do not.
I'm sneaking away, but you're distracted by the grab, and I just disappear.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be what happens.
Wait a minute.
Considering he rolled a natural 20 to stealth, it's a miracle if any of us can actually see him.
Yeah, us
Wait a
kind of
minute,
blended
there is
into
this
the
guy I'm still
shadow.
having a conversation with. Let me try and finish having it.
You saying I can't disappear in the middle of a conversation?
Well,
You
he's
saying I
pointing
can't
in the
Batman
direc-
out of there?
Totally Batman's.
Jhank is pointing off in the direction that Usk went, or he last knew Usk to be.
You're that petty, huh?
Sabotage.
So,
You know, I know this may come off as a bad excuse, but he is chaotic neutral, so
Oh, well, that explains everything.
I said
I'm
it
gonna
may
throw
be
money
bad
at these
excuse.
goblins. Like an
All
idiot.
all right. What are you buying, Yuliy?
So I think I did my math wrong, so please do correct me. I am getting some form of meat, a wineskin, and a bottle of the wine.
All right, that's gonna be like 200 gold altogether.
And I was wondering if I could ask if I got them all as a bundle, if there was like a meat and wine discount for buying them together. And if I said I was going to tell everyone that I knew to come here because they are just so wonderful.
Go ahead and give me a moment. Let me pull up this actual page real fast. That's not the right one. There we go. Roll me some form of charisma, like intimidation or persuasion. It sounds more persuasion than anything else.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh!
Ooh!
You got a good one.
The goblins are seeing this group of people just sort of like entering the hall en masse, like up near Yek, because Yek is very loud, and the group sort of being dragged from the side hallway, and they like whisper to each other very quickly, and then the goblin who takes the money goes, "We will do you great favor. We will cut in half." So 100 gold. For the bundle.
She's hopping as she hands the money over.
All right, I guess lose 100 gold, and I'll get you. I'll add some stuff to your inventory real fast. Give me a moment.
Oh my gosh!
Congrats.
I've never seen someone so excited to overspend on something.
I'm having fun.
I'll grant you that.
Oops. Nope. Rations is one word, not wine rations.
Wine rations.
Meat and wine, all one word.
Oh, also, here's possibly a better excuse. Flaws. Jhank is listed as, I remember every insult I've received and there's a silent resentment to anyone who's ever wronged me. So I can justify his insistence.
What have I ever done to you?
Well, he's still holding on to money that is his. So
For a good reason.
There's nowhere to spend it yet, except for this one place.
Yes, it's a place to spend money. I mean, he doesn't know what's going to find here.
We could spend it on like actually useful things, though.
Instead
Wine
of
and food is
still have
totally
some money.
useless. Fight me.
instead of way overcharged stuff. All right, I'm gonna remove that the goblin token because they've flushed out the hallway. As soon as basically as soon as the like group started moving into the market, like the Chester and the Revenant moved. The Revenant is looking really upset right now. Let's cut back over to Victor and Lander. Yak is going to point at each of you and say, Yak, the Tall, wishes to know more about you, adventurers. What brings you to the kingdom of Yak, the Tall?
Happenstance? We're kind of on our way looking for the staircase down to the 3rd level, actually. Would you happen to know where that is?
Yak actually looks really puzzled by this, like, people leave? Oh, why would you want to go down? Yak takes a moment and goes,
I love the dancing of the Yuliy token.
Shut up and enjoying myself.
No, I seriously do. I love it. It's great.
It's very in character. Yak does pause at the sort of like, leaving this floor? But you're in the kingdom of Yak, the Tall. He goes, Yak, the Tall, believes that
How are you?
very tall.
Just yell that from across the hall.
Yes.
He did. He did.
You have the like you actually see 2 goblins chuckling at that, and one of them goes, "We do that yesterday." Like apparently that's a common occurrence of like call and response of how tall, very tall.
Reminds me of the tallest.
Yes.
That's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Yak goes, while Yak, the Tall, does not understand wanting to leave the kingdom of Yak, the Tall, the exits are probably to the south? Well, we do not travel much. There is far too many crazy things in this floor.
Understandable.
We like finding crazy things.
Mm-hmm. Plus, we sort of came to an arrangement as far as not interfering with the those who decided to side with the beholder. And he says that like you see the most like disgusted look come across his face. Like, I can't believe people do that.
They sound like terrible people indeed.
Yes, and
Yeah, it kind of leaves an ashen taste in your mouth.
it sure does. Usk, you were trying to get into that room, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Is this just a doorway I can get through?
Yeah, it's just a doorway.
Okay.
Again, this was sort of built by dwarves, but like the goblins have just wreaked merry havoc with as much as they could. Upon entering, the goblin in the cage sees Bugbear, and you actually see like a look of fear sort of cross her face. And then she goes, then she notices you are not dressed like the other bugbears. And she like leans against the like edges of the cage, hands gripping the bars, and goes, You free Glom! Or at least give Glom food. Glom very hungry. Glom has not eaten in 2 days.
Yikes. I will produce a ration, some rations, and poke it through the bars.
Glom almost rips a finger off with how fast she grabs that. And
Yeah,
with how
saw that one
gnarled
coming.
her hands are.
Ugh.
And she sort of like scarfs it down, as though she has not eaten in 2 days. And she like sticks a hand out for more, and just like gives you the most pathetic look. Glom will repay you. Glom knows things. Yes, Glom knows things about this floor.
Well, don't eat too much because you're just gonna vomit it right back up. So Ugh. I'll hand her a water skin. And
all right. Glom will 100% just drain a significant portion of it. Before
I sort of thought she might have just eat it.
she thinks about it, but it looks like she had leather on her and tried to eat it earlier and gave up. And she sort of like coughs as she drains a significant portion of this water skin and then pushes it back through the bar. And says, please, if you can you get Glom out?
all right, while I figure that out, why don't you tell me what you were put in here for? As I walk around the cage and kind of inspecting it to see how I might unlock it.
Glom thrown in cage because Yak the Tall has too much food.
And you tried to take it?
Yes.
That makes sense. So Yak's a hoarder then.
He been so asinine, so odd since he put on stupid crown.
The crown. Yeah. What is with that crown? Anything special about it?
Yak put on crown and suddenly Yak tall. Think he big shot. Turn into ugly pink man.
Yeah. Not a good look on him, is it? All right, I think I've got this. I take out my, I should have lock-picking tools, right?
Yeah, you have
it's the
thieves' tools.
Thieves'
I
tools,
think you
yeah,
have
there we go.
proficiency in them.
They're hanging from the ceiling, but can I reach up to the lock?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very tall for a goblin, but you're not a goblin.
Yeah. All right, then I will practice some thievery. Or whatever. What would that be? Oh, thievery's not in this.
It's a dexterity
Thieves'
check.
It's just dex. All right.
Yeah.
Dun.
And I think you have proficiency with your thieves' tools, so you get
He
that bonus.
should. There's just no spot for it.
All right.
I feel like usually I've seen lockpicking be rolled with sleight of hand.
It's still a dex thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes. It seems like it might be a little difficult, but then you make a small twist as you're sort of picking it, and it opens way earlier than you thought it would.
Oh, well, okay then.
It was a very, it was a decent lock, but, I mean, you literally pick better locks than this just to go home.
Just to enter my own dang house, yes.
The cage doors open and Glom hops out onto the floor and brushes herself off, and then claps both hands around yours and goes, thank you, Mr. Bugbear, thank you.
Now, careful now. We don't want to get you thrown back in there, but let's see what we can do about Yek and his hoarding problem.
Yes.
So I stealthed my owl over to where those two guards are on the west.
All right.
Dancing around the ear of it.
Let me. Oops, the right button. Sorry, so many buttons. Where did I had the goblins up and now they're gone. There they are. Goblin. Let's see what sort of check they make. Whoo! Okay. That was real close.
It was.
These are not your average goblins. They got chosen for guard duty for a reason. However, it's still not good enough. So the owl can make it into this room, which, one moment. I have to pull up masking again. It's being very slow today. I think I have too many tabs open. So, this room is a horde. you can see there's sort of just a big collection of like garbage, but there's also just a pretty nasty diorama in the room that he's sort of centralized just a little out of sight of the door. It's got a stuffed beholder in it and 6 goblins. All of them it's set up like the goblins are fighting this beholder and the beholder is fighting back, and they're all adorned in this like ludicrous, like ostentatious costume clothing with like costume jewelry. It's not high quality stuff, but you could probably sell it. There's a stone table sort of towards the back of the room that has an ivory chessboard on it. There is there's an iron banded wooden chest with iron rings for handles in the like far left corner of the room, sort of the furthest out of sight. And proudly displayed on one of the walls is a 9-foot tall, 3-foot wide painting of Yek in human form.
Clearly the most wonderful thing in that room.
Mm-hmm. So there's this is where Yek hoards his treasure. And presumably the food is in one of these other rooms.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if Jhank did meander down this way to glance towards the other doorway?
Which doorway? There are 2
The
others.
south one.
The southmost one. I'll let you can see beyond it. It's the start of another hallway. As soon as you sort of approach, the guards like cross spears and say, "Cannot let you pass without permission from Yek."
He's gonna then meander over kind of towards the other one, not just close enough to try and glance in that direction.
Yeah, give me a moment. I'm gonna remove these pointers since you guys know where the goblins are now. The guards are now. You can see sort of straight back into this room. This one is like, again, the guards don't even talk to you at this point. They just have the like spears crossed and don't let you past. But you can see there's some iron brackets in the room holding some like flickering, poorly lit torches. There's you can see there are some. You can see what you assume might be like the fur of a bugbear in there. And make a perception roll for me.
Perception. Wow.
It's too loud, and the goblins are too in the way. Like they're kind of jostling you to get back.
Keep up the good work.
Mm-hmm. They look like they don't understand you.
Well, I'm gonna have my owl keep stealthing through the guards.
It is so nice that you just have a detachable pair of eyes you can float around the room.
It is. It really is.
So you're gonna try and stealth past these guards?
Yep. New roll.
Yep, new roll. Can't let you get by with the old one.
Same roll.
All right, these goblins are less. They're still quite good for goblins. Less noticeable. All right, so this room, you can see a few different things. There are 4 bugbears playing a game of cards.
Mm-hmm.
There is an enormous like pile of pillows and cushions and food just lying in a big old hoard in the northern corner of this room. There's a few goblins sort of like hanging around there as well. They seem to be the goblin equivalent of a harem, I guess. And in the southern wall, there is a dwarf who is gagged and chained to the wall.
Was one of the people that the Revenant wanted to kill a dwarf?
I think the Revenant only gave you names.
Okay.
Well, aren't we a powder keg?
Mm-hmm.
That was that
So the next
imagery
one.
I needed to have put into my mind.
I will
much worse.
I will say this real fast. The dwarf is shaved. The dwarf has no beard, which is also weird. And so you're heading to the south hallway
With a 5.
with a 5.
They also got a 5.
Wow. I'm gonna say the owl does in fact get past, but you can hear one of the goblins go to the other and go, Did you see Pigeon? The other goblin shrugs like, I don't know. I'm just watching this weird devil person dancing in the middle of the hallway. And yeah, the owl can see this is actually a pretty long hallway with a few more sort of like entrances and exits sort of visible. There's a bunch of magical like frescoes hanging on the wall, and they're moving. There's some sort of magic on the paintings that's making them move, and they show these dwarves just basically in the process of building the Undermountain. Stacking, like moving crates and chipping stone and stacking barrels and all sorts of stuff like that. All right. Oh god, there's so many things happening at once.
Very
We'll cut back from the owl to your physical body, where Yek is going to point to you two and then point to the rest of the group sort of meandering throughout the marketplace, and say, so, Yek the Tall wishes to know, where do you plan on staying? Would you like to reside in the kingdom of Yek the Tall? We could always use more, and he looks at the guards. Adequate guards.
What do you think, Victor?
No, I think we should just kind of do our business and get going.
Yeah, we have our own matters to attend to.
Yeah.
As tempting an offer as it is.
It's a great kingdom.
Thank you. Thank you. And I, Yek the Tall, lead that kingdom.
Of course.
He does sort of make a gesture with his fingers and go, regrettably, the kingdom of Yek the Tall does not tax its citizenry, and so we must put taxes on you, the passers-by, if you wish to cross through the kingdom of Yek the Tall. And then he pauses for a moment and goes, perhaps that was too much wordiness. I want money if you want to go through this place.
How about we play a game instead?
Saw music starts playing.
Yek takes a look at you and goes, I pick game. Game is pay me, Yek the Tall, or die.
That sounds like a terrible game.
Simple game. Need simple game for simple goblin.
How about chess?
You do not seem like a simple goblin, though. The simple game does not suit you.
How about we just draw cards? Whoever draws the higher card gets to win.
Yek is beginning to look incredibly bored with you, Lander.
All right.
And
well, Victor, you heard the man. Pay him.
Pay him. Does he
I'm gonna go check out the bazaar.
Yek will look at you, Victor, and go, and how many of you plan to pay the kingdom of Yek the Tall?
Can I see the Revenant from here?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna point to the Reverend. It says, "Okay, how about we just go on our merry way, and you keep both your arms attached to your body."
Yek makes
That's adorable.
Yek makes some like muscles.
He flexes.
Yek flexes. And then goodness me. I'm trying to think what the I assume this would be like a charisma save since it's the like, you know.
I guess.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. Yek flexes, kisses the muscles, and then looks at you and goes, Yek would like to see you try and rip.
And that's when you call for Jhank.
Or Yuliy.
And with that,
I doubt Yuliy would.
And with that, Yek makes a gesture to the guard in the like southernmost room, where he has the like cushions and the chained up dwarf. And you don't know what it means, but shortly after that, 4 bugbears leave the room and sort of like crack knuckles in the corner. And you get the impression that what Yek is saying, pay up or you will be facing a lot.
I have an idea, but I'll wait for you guys to finish.
So I go up to Yuliy and I say, hey, so you see that room where those 4 bugbears just came out of? That's where they store the food.
Are you trying to tempt the better nature of a paladin?
No, just providing information. Also,
But I
there's
have
some
food and drink.
There's also some arty stuff that I think you'd like in the northern chamber.
But it's not mine.
I know. You don't need to take it.
She's gonna tilt her head. She doesn't follow. I'm sorry.
I mean, you can just look at it. I mean, have you ever been to a museum?
But I can probably do that now.
Yeah. I feel like we're not on the same page.
I don't think so.
What on earth gave you that idea, Azure?
It feels like you're beating around the bush, Lander. I'm having a great time. I don't know what you guys have been doing up there.
I don't know
I've
either.
got wine!
Ah. I see. Have you met Yek, the tall?
Nope. I've been back here. Having fun.
All right.
It's really fun here in this bazaar.
Well, we need to pay a fee to leave.
Why?
Because that's what Yek, the tall, said to do. Or else he'll kill us.
That's
Wait,
not
I mean-
nice.
I think we could take him, but I'm sure you don't want to involve all of these other goblins.
I think he can be reasoned with.
Well, he's up to the north by the throne.
And she's already gone.
Okay, so I want to do 2 things real fast. Jhank, you've been kind of sitting there in the like examining the market. It looks like having been dragged out, but not quite.
Well, he
purchasing
did
anything.
temporarily go to look at the 2 doorways, but then went back. There was also a
Right.
brief period where he sort of joined in with the dancing, but then he kind of went back.
Yes.
I'm a loon, and if you thought differently, you're mistaken.
Mm.
You know, I've never seen a paladin be the loon.
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
Roll a passive, roll passive perception. That doesn't make any sense. Roll perception for me, please. That's a good one. You actually see 2 goblins hiding behind the like pillar nearest to you, like out of sight of Yek the Tall and kind of out of sight of the bugbears. They actually sort of like point to you and then gesture like, "Hey, come over here."
He's going to look around and then look back at them, not quite sure what they're getting at.
You see like the two goblins like turn to each other, chat, and then one points at you, the other like lays out an and then the one that pointed at you does like a finger walk across the arm and then points at both of them.
He's going to look around, and when it seems like no one's really paying attention to him, he's going to go up against the wall and kind of casually kind of slide along it.
Casually, like you do.
The two goblins actually look at you and they they whisper to each other, and then one of them, the one who did most of the gesturing, turns to you and goes, "You seem like reasonable dragon man. We have
I like to think so.
We have reasonable proposition." The two goblins turn to each other, they, chat a bit in goblin, and then turn back and go, "There is not small portion of us here in Kingdom of Yek the Tall who not fond of Yek's curse. Curse to be," and he points at Yek and goes, "ugly pink thing. We think if crown remove, then he go back to how he was.
Not
You
tall.
think you could do that?"
So you are saying if crown is removed, he will no longer be tall.
"Yes."
And if he is no longer tall, he will no longer have authority over you.
No, he's still boss. He just no longer be ugly pink man thing.
That's good to know.
Priorities, man.
Yeah.
So what happens if we remove it and he is not happy that it has been removed?
Well, that's why we ask you. You seem reasonable dragon man. You probably be able to take on fight. At least take a good few hits from bugbears.
Fun.
So you cannot do it. You do not want to take responsibility for it, so you want me to take the blame for removing crown.
The goblin who hasn't been speaking goes, kind of it, but also we no have plan. We spent 20 minutes trying to figure out how to get you over.
So what is benefit to us if we get the crown off his head?
I
You
like
have
how
fancy crown.
I like how Jhank's starting to like speak in their cadence.
You have fancy crown. We goblins eternally grateful for curing Yek of.
Okay, but will you keep Yek from, trying to, beat us up for being unhappy for taking away crown?
The goblins talk to each other again in goblin, and then the one who's been talking the most shrugs and go, "We assume Yek unhappy. It curse." You hear how he talk? Not happy man.
I personally cannot tell the difference.
Maybe it goblin accent.
That may well be what it is.
The other one goes, "Look, we do our best, but he boss. If he say kill you, I mean we have."
Well, if you think he is unhappy, then if you remove things that make him unhappy, would that not make him happy and grateful to you for making him happy?
Yes, but Yek sleep with bugbear. It hard to get in room with bugbear.
Well, if we were to keep, the people that protect him distracted, could you not sneak up on him and then, remove it yourselves?
The goblins look at each other, talk more in goblin. One strokes a beard that doesn't exist, and then the one that hasn't been talking goes, "See, we knew you were reasonable, dragon man.
And you
Come up
sound
with good plan."
And you sound like goblins who can be quite reasonable yourselves.
Yes, we both very reasonable. Yes, very. And then you you see you see the one who's
Jhank will hold up his fist for a fist bump.
The goblins each goblin just wraps one hand around it and then shakes it. Because they do not understand the gesture.
Honestly, it's probably not a gesture that makes sense to anyone, so
probably not. But you hear one of the two goblins again sort of speaking in goblin after this. And then you hear very, very quietly, "So you take crown?" "No, me thought you take crown." Me no take crown." Seems they might not be the best at getting the crown off.
How many of there are you that are not happy with his curse?
The goblins sort of look around the hall and go, "We know do count. We know there's some. Maybe not many. Definitely not lots."
Well, find out find out who is willing to go along with getting crown off. Get them all together. And then look this way. Whoever gets the crown off first wins.
I like how doing this cadence has turned Jhank's French into Russian.
It's really beautiful.
Honestly, to me, it sounds more like genuinely like French accented English.
Yeah, kind of.
Honestly.
Although all French accents are they all sound cartoony. Like
Yeah.
it's just a thing. I've heard a person with a French accent and went, "Why do you sound like you came out of a cartoon?" They did not take well to that question.
I would not think so.
So what you're saying is cartoons are extremely accurate.
Yes, and also I have no tact. It's both of those things at once.
It can be both.
It can be both. The goblins will turn to each other and go, "Okay, we tried to get count. It may take..." He looks at the other goblin. 4 days? 4 days!
I think I know a goblin who might be motivated.
would Usk, where he is, would he hear any of this?
Probably not.
You're around the corner, but nah, it's pretty loud in the place, so...
And
I think
you're
it sounds
speaking
like-
quietly.
Yeah.
I do not think that 4 days is going to cut it.
Why not?
You're right, it should be 5 days.
I do not think we are planning to stick around for 4 days.
Oh.
Probably not even 1 day.
They look at each other and go, "Well, we try. Guess he cursed forever."
Jhank will roll his eyes at that.
Wouldn't it be great if one of us had telepathy?
Sure.
Oh,
would.
well.
All right. Goodness me, everything is so just separated. Yuliy, you were going to talk with Yek.
Yes, I was.
All right. How do you greet His Majesty Yek the Tall?
Lander, you told me his name, right?
Yeah. I said, have you met Yek the Tall? Is what I said.
Okay. Are you Yek the Tall?
Yes, I am Yek the Tall. And who are
This
you?
is your place, yes?
Yes, this is the kingdom of Yek the Tall.
It's such a wonderful kingdom, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So, I was told we couldn't leave.
You are absolutely able to leave, so long as you pay Yek.
But why?
Because Yek running profitable kingdom here. Need cash. Need to be able to feed goblins. Need to be able to pay bugbears.
Your people seem to be making a lot of money too. I just bought a lot of stuff from you guys that I really much appreciate it.
Yes, they very smart for stupid goblins. But Yek the Tall has to provide incentive so that those who belong to the beholder don't convince Yek's kingdom to leave.
But if you have more people like us come and do business here and make life better for them, they wouldn't want to leave because life is good here. So wouldn't you want to have a good relationship with the people who come in here and make the lives of your people happier? Because then you wouldn't have the worry of people wanting to ever leave, which I can't really assume why they'd ever want to.
Yes.
The place is really nice.
Thank you. The kingdom of Yek the Tall is quite nice. But Yek thinks it good to have both money for individual goblins and money for kingdom that go through Yek. Hence, taxes on entrance and exit.
But you didn't make us do anything to come in. You kind of just pulled us in.
Well,
which sounds really deceptive now that I think about it. So maybe just as a misunderstanding could be waived this one time, and the next time we come back, we'll talk about it then. Because this is a wonderful suggestion.
Wow, that swerve. I love it.
Nice. All right. Suggestion, you say?
Ooh.
That was solid.
Wow, that was electric.
Nice.
I tried.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Okay, a wisdom saving throw for Yek the Tall. Give me a moment. Because I have to find his stat sheet.
Bite me in the ass really badly if it doesn't work. I hope you appreciate me.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Things could go badly regardless because there's kind of a dwarf that really needs to die.
Spoilers.
The fuse has already been lit.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention that there was a dwarf in chains in the food place.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. All right.
My save's a 14!
Yes, your save is a 14. So he does take the suggestion.
Question.
And yep.
Does the Revenant, do they need to explicitly kill the guy, or could the fact that he's in chains and all that be considered a worse fate?
They killed him, he kills them.
Revenant
Revenge.
walks the earth until everyone is dead. So yeah, so here's how it's gonna go down. Yek will take a moment, a glaze sort of covers his eyes, and he goes, "Yes, Yek the Tall is glad he thought of this. Better to work with than against."
Absolutely. It's so great that in your wise wisdom you're able to understand this and came to such a great conclusion on your own. I am truly humbled by...
Don't push it.
Yek makes a gesture to the bugbears. And they all sort of like... You actually, I'm going to say Lander, you see them like... before they all sort of trundle back into that room.
Right.
To continue playing cards, you guess.
So do I find any books?
No. It looks like if they had any book, they broke them down for use of the component parts.
Okay, so I can't use this plan in character yet, but I came up with an idea to potentially solve the "we got to kill this person" idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go for it, because the other thing I was about to say is the Revenant is following the bugbear. Just slowly.
Well, should I say out of character?
Yes.
Well, if we can find out, like, what the deal is with this guy, maybe, just maybe, we can actually, buy him and just take him with us to, let the Reverend kill him elsewhere.
instead of breaking and entering.
Yeah, I mean, we basically buy him so the Revenant can kill him. I mean, he's looking for money anyway.
You'd have to convince the Revenant to hold.
Yeah.
Well, who notices?
I think
the
that's
Revenant?
the harder part is to
Well,
convince the Revenant to wait a few moments than to
Yeah.
convince Yuck to let us have the dwarf.
Is anyone noticing that the Revenant is going off?
It's out
to
in the
side?
open, so whoever's
Yeah,
out there.
it's out in the open, so whoever can see it can. Whoever is like looking towards the market can see it, and he's a revenant, so he's not moving like especially quickly. It's very Terminator walk.
I mean, that is what he is.
Yes.
So what's going on with Victor?
I'm just
Okay, well-
watching Yuliy like turn this guy to putty and get us out of paying taxes, and just like, okay.
Is Jhank's conversation with those two goblins done yet?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. He's going to notice he's going, and he's going to go over, and he's going to kind of quickly walk over to where he is, and
Okay. It's right in front of a shop, so the two goblins running it are like, "You come to buy our wares?"
So let me guess. Whoever you need to kill is off in that direction?
One of them is.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can find out, if we can bring them out here instead of, rushing in there.
The Revenant like turns very slowly to look at you, and you actually kind of hear the reanimated corpse kind of like it's making some gross noises. And the Revenant turns back to the doorway and goes, "You have 5 minutes."
Spicy.
Oof.
Believe me, I am here to help. I mean, obviously, I did get you out of the hold. I will see what I can do.
okay, he's going to go up, and who is it that he's going to try and whisper to the group?
Okay, the Revenant, he says that guy is in that room over there.
Meanwhile, I've just been saying all that to Yuliy and Victor and Sylvan, because no one else can
Hooray!
understand it.
The Sylvan trio.
I
Yeah.
can't even know what it is, and I'm the one streaming this.
Yeah.
So
yes,
what? Real fast, but before you finish, Jhank, go ahead and read for the stream that quick conversation, folks.
The first thing that Yuliy actually said was more of a, "See, that wasn't so hard."
And I jumped in with, I forgot to mention, a shaved dwarf's being held in the food hoard.
And then I was saying, Yuliy, you make it too easy.
But it is easy.
Wait. What was this about a shaved dwarf?
Seems to be one of the targets.
Oh no.
No,
And
that's it.
And see.
so that's when Jhank comes up and mentions that one of the guys is in that room.
Yep. So yeah. Got
We
a
also
battle?
previously mentioned that this place is so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of fun lines from Yuliy about meat and wine, and
None of them were important. That's why I did them.
Yep.
And
I love the
Me
language
being a
feature.
goof.
by the way, the Revenant gave me 5 minutes for us to get the guy out of there before he goes in.
$5 minutes, huh?
5 minutes. And clock is ticking.
Well,
Do you want to do this direct approach?
I mean, we could ask him. I mean, do you know anything about him being in there?
I have an idea.
your idea is
Illusions.
that.
Go for it.
So, I don't really have a detailed plan.
The best kind of plan.
Absolutely.
If you at least have 12% of a plan.
Range is 30 feet. 5 foot cube.
If it makes it any better, he really doesn't like beholders.
I apologize for this. I need to take just a real quick break. Sorry.
All right.
I could also make a loud sound. I can make a sound or an image, but not both.
Wait, so what is the plan?
But it's also a cantrip, so I might be able to do multiple of them.
Yeah, but not all that much. I know the spell you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something I can do. Unfortunately, suggestion is a concentration spell, and I'm kind of still on that. So the moment that drops, he's gonna know I kind of deceived him.
So no one's going to.
Hey, did you mention the thing about the crown and all that?
No, he hasn't
What?
said anything about that.
No, I'm talking about you. So Jhank has not mentioned anything about that?
Jhank has said nothing about the crown.
Darn. If he had, I was going to mage hand, but oh well.
Isn't anyone else bugged by the missing bugbear in our party?
He's off somewhere.
Oh, you mean he didn't come in with you guys?
I thought he came in with you guys.
No,
I mean,
we
I was
got
kind of
dragged
pulled in
first.
and started having the time of my life, but
There is currently a resident who wants to burst into a room and kill someone, and we have no idea about what's going on and who's in there that he wants to kill and all that. So,
Din is back.
All right.
what if one of you guys asked about the dwarf? If Yekta doesn't like them, maybe that makes this so much easier.
let's do that.
Okay, sure.
Sure.
Who wants to ask?
Not me.
Someone who was sneaking around? Because I kind of wasn't. I can't justify this.
I don't think any of us can.
Okay. What was the what's the name of the goblins? It's what the tall?
Yeah.
Yekt.
Yuck. Question for you.
Yes.
So I heard through the rumor vine that there's a dwarf back in the room that maybe is someone you don't like, or maybe doing something that. I'm just asking out of curiosity.
Yek's eyes narrow at that question. And Yek goes, "How do you know about my dwarf?"
As I said, through words happen.
A little birdie told me.
Pigeon.
Yek looks at the entire room and back to you and goes, "Which goblin told you?"
I wasn't.
I just heard the words be mentioned about. I cannot say. I could not. I have no idea of knowing who is responsible.
Yek makes a gesture, and the guards sort of like clang their spears together, and all of the goblins stop moving.
Uh-oh.
And they look towards Yek, and Yek looks out to the goblins and goes, "Who told these adventurers about the dwarf?" There is silence. And then the goblins sort of like look nervously at each other like, "Oh no, this could be really bad."
So
I
Here's
guess
an
that was a
idea.
bad idea.
And
you want to know who told us about the dwarf? You
Oh,
told
no.
us about the dwarf. Just now.
the
Sure.
are you doing a spell or just trying to confuse him?
Confusion. I don't have a spell like that, I don't think.
I was about to say, Let me do something real fast. Before you can even sort of finish that statement to Yek, a goblin is pushed forward from one of the stalls.
Oh, someone's being scapegoated.
Yeah, the goblin looks really nervous, like, oh no, please, no. And the other goblins behind him has pushed him, are like, oh, I can't believe he, told the adventurers about the dwarf, and, it's instantly turning into like, oh no, scapegoating.
So as it turns out, I've got this thing called Fey Presence.
Look, what I want to say, if you don't like that guy, we can help you out with that.
Real fast, you were saying something about Fey Presence?
I just realized that that's a thing that I have.
It is.
That's a 10-foot.
Yeah.
That's a 10-foot.
10-foot cube.
Mm-hmm.
Around you.
Yeah, they're charmed or frightened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to use it Monday.
I'm sure you can get close enough to do it. If you want to do that, I mean, you are more than welcome to do that, and we'll try to make save.
All right. So I'm gonna walk up to Yek.
Mm-hmm.
Yek.
Mm-hmm.
My pal.
My bro.
We just want to know some things.
Yek. Wow, that was a bad roll.
That's beautiful.
Yek has a moment, looks at you and goes, yes, you are pal. Sorry, Yek let power go to Yek's head. What can Yek do for you?
Surprisingly self-aware there.
As soon as that starts happening, the goblin was blends back into the crowd. Because the goblins are very confused.
So what can you tell us about that dwarf?
Yek sort of shrugs, goes, dwarf come into Yek's market, try to rough up several goblins. We go, that not cool. So we take Yek and we take dwarf, we chain him to wall, we shave beard, and Yek watches him squirm.
Do you care if he dies?
Yek pauses a moment, and he actually looks really weighing some options. Well, it is really funny watching squirm.
What if we made it a public spectacle?
Ah.
Whoa.
Yek takes a moment and goes, that seemed like it'd be really hard to clean up.
Fair point.
Plus, stage not finished.
Of course.
Yeah. Gotta have the stage.
God, must have stage.
Someone's got to have like a tarp or a rug somewhere, right?
Let's see.
Yek will sort of take a moment and look you dead in the eyes, which his eyes are very glazed. He is very clearly charmed. And he goes, you are good buddy, though. Long-time pal of Yek, the Tall. Knew Yek before Yek was Yek, the Tall. Knew Yek when Yek was Yek, the Small.
Okay. That broke me.
Nice.
Tell you what, you are a good buddy of Yek. Yek will give you dwarf for small fee. So Yek can in future replace with better enter.
All right. That's fair. Reasonable. As expected of Yek, the Tall.
Yek will sort of give an OU gesture. Yeah, and I think Yek's going to come down on I think 100 gold fee to get rid of the dwarf.
All right. That's fine.
All right, so you're gonna buy the dwarf for 100 gold?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, remove 100 gold and let me add this dwarf to the map.
So
Okay.
so did Lander pay the gold or?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm there.
I'm gonna just put. There's not a specific token for him, so I'm going to put a C down here for Copper Stormforge, the dwarf. Basically, as soon as the transaction is handled, Yek will make another gesture to the goblins, who will to the guard goblins, who will make a gesture to the bugbears, who will unchain the dwarf from the wall, but leave him gagged. And the four of them will drag this dwarf, who is sort of kicking and trying to like headbutt the bugbears that are holding him.
What was the name of the What's the name of the revenant?
The name of the revenant is, one moment, I have to pull it up again because it's somewhere hidden in all of my various things. Haleth Gark.
Did we got that name right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, if everyone wants to clear away, Haleth, he is all yours.
We should probably like go into the hallway first.
What? You don't think so? I mean, that's what we were. Well, okay. I mean,
They just said it would be a pain to clean up.
Mhm.
all right. Well, we'll haul him out.
I mean, there are, there's a hallway. Owl Nose is basically empty aside from a water pump.
All right. So Usk will grab the chain and we'll drag him out to this room back here.
Okay.
So what is in this hallway where the owl is?
Just the like moving frescoes I told you about.
Yeah.
There's
So,
not much
yes.
else.
The
And
So to
then
the trash room.
Yes,
I
it is.
guess.
Yeah, to the trash room. Are you? I'm gonna move the bugbears. The bugbears are gonna go basically to their room, and my Haleth is going to obviously follow follow Jhank and Copper. And I have a question: are you at any point going to ungag Copper?
Yes.
wait, are you?
You should probably join up with the rest of the group first.
Someone. I mean,
Yeah.
if anyone's gonna do it, someone else is going to have to because Zhank's not gonna bother.
Well, you
Yep.
kind of took them to the side.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, it's time is abstracted. People can join up, but I mean, you do have an escaped prison goblin, Usk, so you might need to do some sneaking.
I mean, as far
Okay.
as
Although
Zhank is
there
concerned, he's
was a
just gonna-
big distraction, so
yeah.
I mean, as far as Jhank is concerned, he's just gonna bring the guy out here, kick him to the floor, then walk back out, and lean against the wall to just listen to it happen.
So I'm gonna say to Yek, it was nice catching up, but I really should get going.
Hmm.
And I just book it.
All right. Yeah, you've got a
Because,
little bit of time before the charm wears off.
Yep.
Give me a moment to this
I
up.
actually think it's to the end of his turn when it's used, so it's actually about 6 seconds.
I think it's till the start of my next turn. But yeah.
Yeah, well, there's again when you do. I am of the opinion that this kind of stuff can be abstracted.
That's not what I meant to do.
No worries. Okay.
Till the end of my next turn.
Yes. All right.
So about 12 seconds.
So, you, or I guess real fast, Usk, did you want to try and sneak out while that whole debacle was happening?
While this whole debacle is happening, kind of rewind a bit. I guess I said, what's the goblin prisoner's name again?
Glom.
Glom. All right. I have an idea, but I need you to lay low for a little bit. Is there a hidden spot somewhere you can hide for a bit?
Glom sort of like looks around the room and goes, "No one checking here. I could just hide here."
Yeah. Pretend like you're still in the cage, but I'll leave it unlocked.
Glom will sort of sigh, pull it, like, she's reaching on her like tiptoes basically to like pull the cage open and then climb back in, but she manages to do it. So,
Because, frankly, from the picture I'm getting of this Yek, I don't think he makes a very good king. And even
she shrugs.
hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
just
sorry.
thinking.
Sorry.
It's like I'll be back one way or another because I'm not gonna leave you here. But it sounds like there is some commotion going on out there. And I think I need to take care of that first.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so I head back, see that they're dragging off. Yeah, again, the Revenant's following, and figure, oh, I should probably have my eye on this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so are you going to ungag the dwarf before any of this happens?
It's like, he's gagged for some reason. That's odd. And just to make sure that really my concern at this point is like, do we have the right guy? Are we just gonna murder just some innocent person? So I ungag him.
He looks kind of really freaked out by Haleth. Like as soon as he saw him, he was fighting against the goblins. As soon as he saw Haleth, he went stock still and then started fighting even harder. And like even dragging him away, Jhank, you did have to like really sort of get hold of him.
You know this person.
Would Jhank have been able to like kick him a few times to make it easier?
Probably, but he's probably gonna kick back too. He's not like completely chained up. He was just chained to a wall. So yeah, once you pull off that gag, he looks to you and goes, "Oh, don't just stand there! Save me from this monster!"
Monster. You know what a Revenant is, right?
He looks to the Revenant, looks back to you, and goes, "Well, I know a bastard when I see one!"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have that same ability too.
Haleth is one moment. Let me just check this real fast. Haleth is going to simply look towards the dwarf. And he's actually not going to move for a few moments. And then he is going to approach. And Copper is basically, screaming about this. And he's backing away from the Revenant, just backing up, getting towards the wall as Haleth approaches. And but just before anything can really sort of happen, Copper basically screams out to you, if you let it kill me, you can't get my map! Only I know where it's hidden!
Your map? Look to Haleth and say, wasn't it your map?
It was our map.
And
we stole it.
What do you say to those allegations?
Why did you kill him?
Copper looks towards this fancy bugbear and says, "Well, you know how it goes. The less there are, the more money to share."
Haleth, which is more valuable to you, your revenge or this map? I leave it in your hands.
And Haleth places both arms on Copper's shoulder, looks him dead in the eyes, and goes, "Any last words?" And even though Copper you can see he is screaming, but no sound is coming out of his throat anymore. And Haleth, it's a whisper, but you can still hear it. And you hear, "I don't care if you do." And it just, as you watch, it just sort of looks like all of the life escapes from Copper's face. He goes gaunt and gray and collapses. And
Well, not that messy after all.
following
Yeah, I was
that,
just thinking that.
Haleth stands back up and says, "That is one down. I look forward to the rest."
I'll be honest, I was waiting for him to basically confess. Otherwise, I might have gotten in your way. Just as a heads up.
Haleth looks to you as you say that and says, "And if you interfere with my vengeance, you will end up like him. Am I clear?"
Oh, I think I know what that's like.
I just want to say, if you get a fight like that because you're trying to get in his way, I'm not planning to help you.
I'm not surprised, Jhank.
So, regrettably, there is nothing to sort of swipe from Copper. He had been basically stripped by the goblins before he even got anywhere.
I
Yeah,
assumed
I mean,
as much.
he doesn't even have a beard.
No, he doesn't even have a beard.
Well, I whistle and head back over to the cages.
Has anyone
sorry,
seen where Victor and Yuliy went? Are they still back in there?
I
Yeah.
don't think they followed us, so
Yuliy did not follow you.
Nope.
they're still over there by Yak,
Yep.
Who
the
is
formerly small.
yes, formerly the small.
Now,
Can I ask, real fast, anyone that's still in the room where Copper died, make God, is this a perception check? Let me check
Describe
this
it.
I'll stick around for a bit.
out.
Perception or investigation?
now this is
Insight?
after
Nature.
This is after he died,
Just
right?
as good.
Yes, after he died.
So in nature,
Yeah. Okay. Usk, like, I'm not gonna say you are familiar with necrotic damage and what it does to bodies, because that seems a little off, even by everything else.
But you've read some books.
Yeah, you have read some books, and you've seen a dead body or two.
I'm a survivalist, a city
Yeah.
survivalist, but still survivalist.
Yeah, you've seen a dead body or two. Most bodies don't turn that gray after death. That's all you get out of it, but like there's something weird about it even by like necrotic damage and this weird sort of situation.
Semi regretting not going, but I can't just.
But that's all you get. That nothing else sort of happens with the body, but you have this like weird feeling of like, even by this standards, that death looks a little weird.
So should we burn the body?
Yes.
I mean, you can.
Obligatory. We could make the body explode.
Jesus.
I mean, I'd rather not use up our things when I can just firebolt.
I was mostly making a joke, but
Yeah.
mostly.
All right, you want to firebolt it?
Sure.
All right.
There's nothing on it anyway, and why leave a corpse to clutter up the place?
Fair enough. I'll say this: most of the garbage doesn't look like it'll. You don't have to worry about that.
All right.
So you are going to go ahead and make the damage roll.
Not a lot.
I mean, you're
I
yeah,
do have
it's-
my
you're-
charisma modifier, don't I?
yeah, plus your 5th level. So it's actually
Right,
2d10.
Ugh.
Whoops.
You know, I'll just roll it without my just with dice.
I get you.
So that is my. Is that just my charisma modifier?
I think so. You are a warlock, so
Yeah.
I think that only counts for Eldritch Blast.
regardless, I think that's probably fine. Although you did 2d4 instead of 2d10.
Oh, it's yeah. Right.
So you know, I can
Let's just do that then.
all right. 11. That body went up really fast. Like it was almost like flash paper.
So that's one down. How many to go yet?
3?
3.
Okay.
There were 3 others in total, and now there are 2.
Oh, so one down, 2 to go.
Haleth does not look like he really wants to respond to that. So yes, the body went up real fast. There's now just sort of a charred skeleton slowly crumbling in that room.
All right.
And with that, you all are free to enter and exit the Goblin Bazaar for at least, a little while.
You got 8 hours. Then he'll remember, wait, he has to tax us.
Yes.
So we could actually use this opportunity to take a short. Well, we don't need to take a short rest, do we?
Not especially. I mean, you guys,
I've got.
you've skipped a few different combat encounters at this point.
Yeah. A short rest would get me back my use of Fey presence, but
I'm sure you can find a better place to do it.
yeah.
So I
need a long rest for any of them.
I take it most people here are keen on just living and letting live when it comes to King Yek.
The vast majority of the goblins are apathetic. They're clustered.
I'm talking about the party here.
Oh,
asking the party.
Okay.
Hey, I was ready to pick a fight.
Yeah, I don't care what happens to him, really.
Yeah.
John's
He's
ready.
perfectly reasonable.
John's ready to move on.
Well, if we use the power of suggestion.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Suggestion? Why would you even bring up the term?
It was
Well, it's
really
not like there's a
just
magical spell
suggestion.
with the name.
Just a suggestion.
Exactly.
Alright.
Well, if we're
I will say this: the Revenant is again the king, to the Goblin Bazaar in the Kingdom of Yek, and basically saying that the next target is that way.
So probably the hallway with the frescoes, then.
I really want to take that crown off.
Go for it.
All right, then.
Guys, are you done back here?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Did we ever find Usk?
Yeah. He was here. He left.
He found us.
And where'd he go?
I don't know.
I come back for the goblin prisoner. I forgot her name again.
Glom.
Glom.
Yes.
Just glom onto that name.
And I say, how do you feel about taking that stupid crown off?
She nods voraciously. Listen, that is a good idea.
All right. Well, are you feeling sneaky? Nah,
she
you're right.
she sort of looks around and like points to the cage that she's in.
Yep, that's fair. I help her
out of it?
I help her out of the cage because I was kept her back in there so that she didn't arouse suspicion.
Yeah, but no, I'm pointing out the fact that like she was caught because of something she tried to be sneaky.
Yeah, that's fair.
She was
yeah.
thrown in prison for being sneaky.
At least she learns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like she learned not to eat leather, and
Yes.
she learned that she's not very sneaky.
Well, still, a king that, starves his prisoners and hoards resources like that, even if there is like a, extortion racket going on with the beholder, which I can appreciate, like, this dude at the very, very, very least needs to be taught maybe a lesson in humility. So I say, this may be risky, but I imagine if you made a very good distraction, I could get the jump on him and take that crown off.
She looks really sort of like, that feels like a bad idea.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like if here's what I'm gonna do. She is
No, we don't have to do that.
So I mean, or if anyone would bother telling me about this, I could get with.
Well, none of us know.
Yeah.
Jhank,
I mean, Jhank knew, us knew,
but he's
we
not.
didn't bother to tell anyone else.
Well, you guys were busy.
Yeah.
doing
I
things that
haven't
you didn't
seen
bother.
you since we entered.
Yeah.
Yuli's just having a good time.
Yuliy was having a great time.
I was hanging out with the fugitive, so I didn't exactly have a lot of freedom to move.
Yuli's been having the best time.
She has. Now y'all are having people die and talking about
All
diphtheria.
right, I kind of poke
I
around
burned a body.
at the edge of the hallway there and say, "Hey, Victor, Yuliy."
What? Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Oh,
over
hey.
here. In here.
Well, I'm gonna go back to the
Get
bazaar
the
then.
others.
You told me to come here, and now you're telling me that.
Well, I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring everybody in on this, but
Think about
it might be a little weird if you are calling us all in here and we all kind of vanish from sight.
I'll say this: I think everyone's sufficiently freaked out by the almost death that happened that I'm pretty sure that y'all are actually the least of everyone's worries.
I say, I'm thinking of taking this tyrant down a peg, and especially because, like, he locked up Glom here and starved her for 2 days just for trying to share some of the wealth, or rather the food that he's been hoarding. And this whole kingdom is run on what basically amounts to a disguise circlet? Something like that? I think...
I don't know about that. He's been really reasonable when I asked him to not tax us when we left, and everyone else seems pretty happy.
The crown thingy on his head?
Sure, yeah, because I definitely heard that, like, yelling and about, like, who told them about the dwarf, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely heard that. That like the room went silent before he said that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great leader. And look,
I mean, if you didn't if no one was supposed to tell anyone something and they broke the secret, I think it's justified for anyone to be mad.
but to not even treat your prisoners well and starve them.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't agree with that, but I think in this case, a negotiation is probably better.
Better than a confrontation.
Really?
Yes.
You want me to negotiate for her release and fair treatment?
Yes.
What do we have
It's
to
not
negotiate?
that hard. He's very reasonable.
You did that thing on him, didn't you?
What
Yeah.
thing? I have no idea what you're talking about, Usk.
Fair enough. All right.
That room's
Well,
party
okay,
is so
fine.
secretive.
It's a good thing that your oath does not involve, like, I cannot tell a lie.
I can't tell a lie. I'm not lying. I don't know what he's talking about.
All right, fine. Glom, all right, do you particularly feel like revenge, or do you want me to just, like, figure out a peaceful solution?
Glom kind of looks towards the cage that she's been in. The sort of screaming that happened earlier. Like, she looks like she's pretty deep in thought, and I'm gonna make a save here, or I'm gonna make a check here, I should say. She looks like she really, really wants to say revenge, and then she lets out a sigh and says, if you can do it without killing him, I suppose it's best for all of us.
Yeah, because it does sound like there's a whole, like, this. It does sound like at least the goblins here are protected and not subject to the dangers of the rest of this floor. So I don't want to, like, doom you all.
So,
all right. Well, I'm just gonna head brazenly up to the throne then.
all right.
Do you want some
Best way
backup?
to do it.
Yeah, sure. Come along.
I will support you in this because it is a great idea.
Yak looks a little confused by the bugbear that's here that isn't part of the ploy.
Don't worry, this is one of our friends. He was getting some food. He's a little slow sometimes to catch up.
Yak sort of looks at you and goes, "You are really fancy for someone from Skullport."
Skullport?
Skullport?
No, I'm from Waterdeep.
Yak looks massively confused by that. Because goblins in Waterdeep are not a shall we say, common thing.
It's not a thing. No.
I think that should be kind of impressive by itself. That a bugbear can be dressed in fineries and live up in Waterdeep. Then
it is. It is definitely. It's definitely. I don't know if it's impressing him, but he's definitely like, "Whoa, this is blowing my mind."
It's bugbearing him.
This is my bugbear.
And I've heard you're a reasonable fellow.
Yak is known for two things: his tallness and his reasonableness.
All right, well, I took a look around your kingdom, and I'm frankly impressed with a lot of it, considering the circumstances.
Yak nods approvingly.
But there's one area where I think you could use some improvement.
Yak's eyes narrow at that statement, and then he says,
Just as a polite suggestion.
"Go on."
The treatment of your petty prisoners.
Yak rolls his eyes at that statement. And
I know.
And
it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but
Yak is going to go, "Yak has one prisoner who got thrown in prison because she decided to steal food and not share it with the rest of the goblins."
Sounds like a good enough reason to get punished.
all right. But to then, like, starve her for 2 days, not even, like, give her, like, small rations or anything like that, that's a little much.
Yak looks at you and goes, "Bugbear, do you know how hard it is to get food down here?
I can imagine.
So is it not fair that if someone steals food, their punishment is being denied food?"
I think they should
Yak
have.
was not going to kill her. Just let her think about what she'd done.
Well, I think you can obviously give them less food. But there's a fine line. And also, if someone hoards food, so much more food than everybody else, is it not fair that they should also share a little bit more?
Yak looks at the other goblins in the room, some of them whispering now, and looks back to you and says, back when Yak was small, Yak would agree. But now Yak is tall. Yak needs more food for this. And he actually kind of looks just a little weirded out by the body that he's in right now, and says, Yak knows what he used to eat, and now Yak feel that not enough.
Sounds like this has all kind of gone to your head a bit.
Is that a problem?
Yak's actually going to gesture at you and go, would you feed bugbear like yourself, same as goblin?
Well, if I was in prison, and I have been in prison a couple of times, let's face it, I'll take goblin rations if there's literally nothing else.
Yak sort of looks just like, this is the most boring conversation he's had today. Mostly because it's criticizing Yak even slightly.
Yeah.
And he...
Look, I'll cut to the chase then. I'll pay you to let her go and treat her fairly.
Yak will go, he actually, as you're saying this, he does the blah 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 gesture with his hand just right in front of you, and he goes, fine 200 gold.
Oh, yikes.
So real quick, how many people noticed that Yek seemed weirded out by his body for it?
Anyone who was close to the stage. It's not a perception thing. It was just a ooh. Right, this is cool, but weird.
How did you become tall, Yak?
Yek points to the crown, and he goes, Yek put on magic crown, become Yek the Tall. It only natural order of things.
Where'd you find that crown?
He sort of gestures to the Undermountain. This whole place full of weird things. It happened.
Have you ever tried taking it off to see what happens?
Yek gets really defensive, and you actually both of his hands go to the crown don't you dare even suggest that.
No, hands up. It's I'm not going to take it off, but have you tried?
Yek is going to look at you and go, no, Yek does not need to. Yek enjoys being Yek the Tall.
And if it makes you happy, I will not stop it.
But does it make your people happy?
Yek points at a random goblin and goes, You happy with Yek the Tall? The goblin looks nervously and goes, yes, very happy with Yek the Tall.
All right. Well, all right. I prepare a pouch for 200 gold pieces.
All right.
And approach the throne to make a handover.
All right. Yek
and I
eagerly
roll
puts
sleight of hand.
Whew. Okay. Let me make...
I was waiting for that.
Waiting for
it. Yek is so eager to get his hands on this gold that he doesn't notice whatever it is you're doing.
I snatch the crown from his head.
Oh boy! Before your eyes, Yek's body sort of it's not quite instantaneous. It actually looks like he's going through some physical change as he goes from this fairly tall human to a squat little goblin man. who looks kind of even smaller than the rest of the goblins.
Oh, yeah, isn't it always the underdog story?
And upon doing that, Yek gives you a very nasty look.
Uh-oh.
And then says, no more deal. And he makes a gesture, and every single goblin in the room pulls out a weapon. Yek was the boss before he was Yek the Tall. That was just a bonus. And
so before that, did I find any games being sold?
No games being sold. Seems the only game was the one in Yek's personal treasure room. And yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to leave off. Because I need to populate this room with like 30-something goblins, plus 9 in this other room, plus Yek. There's a lot happening in here.
This is exactly what I was afraid of.
I knew this was gonna
yeah. So,
oh boy.
I guess that's where we'll leave it off.
Oh boy.
Still, I mean, hey, you got through like a third of one quest. You learned some fancy stuff. There's a market here. Yeah, I think with how much it already being 7 and with how much is about to happen, yeah, this is where we're gonna stop for the night.
Yeah. So what was the deal with that corpse then?
I wish that's a secret.
Okay.
I promise.
I feel like I know.
I promise it will make sense in the future.
Somehow I knew taking the crown was a bad idea.
Oh, I knew absolutely that was a bad idea.
To be fair, Yek is not a good king. Not a very good boss, just smarter than the average goblin. So yeah.
If there's a way we can minimize the number of casualties here, that would be ideal. I don't want to.
Probably.
We are running.
Well, I mean, I think if we beat Yek into submission and force him to surrender, we could probably walk away from it.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Shall we do all of the ends?
Okay, then. In that case, thank you for listening to our Spudventures. If you like what you heard, you can find more at youtube.com/Newbiespud or spudventures.libsyn.com or iTunes or Google Play Podcasts or wherever you get those things. We aim to live stream these games every Sunday around 2 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/Newbiespud. If you want to keep up with this and other projects I'm doing, you can follow me on Twitter at Newbiespud. And if you want to support my ability to produce more content like this, please support me at patreon.com/Newbiespud. See you next time with Murder in Jump Space, Session 2.